It is the biggest bicycle trade show in the world, so it makes sense that a lot of companies release their new products at Eurobike. We're going to check as many as we can out today, starting here at Zip. Whole load of new wheels here at the Zip stand, a total of 9 I think I've counted so far. So they've updated the 202s, the 303s, the 404s and the 808s on both the NSW side and also the Firecrest side, and they've also got a new 650B wheel which we'll get onto a little bit later on. With the first of those that I've just mentioned, they are all now optimised for wider tyres. So the 202s and the 303s have a 21mm internal rim width. That means that even aerodynamically they are optimised for 28mm tyres. That's right, 28mm tyres are going to be faster aerodynamically in the wind tunnel than 25mm tyres. And then when you get to the 404s and the 808s, the 808s being here, they are optimised for a width tyre of 25mm. So that is going to be faster on these than 23mm tyres. They also all come straight from the factory, capable of taking tubeless tyres. Zip actually released their own tubeless tyres a couple of months ago. And speaking to one of the people from Zip just a few moments ago, they say that in testing other tyres, they actually come out as the most grippy on corners in the dry, whilst having the lowest rolling resistance, which is basically all you want from a tyre, isn't it? Then, as mentioned, we have the 303 here available in a 650B version. These serve a couple of purposes really. Firstly, for the gravel riding crew, that's getting very popular indeed. For bikes like that 3T one where you can use 2 different sizes of wheels, when you want to put some very big tyres you can use these 650B wheels for the gnarly terrain. And also, of course, SRAM work very closely with the Canyon SRAM team, and Zip have used these wheels on the Canyon Ultimate CF SLX, which is specific to women's geometry. So for the slightly smaller riders on that team, they sometimes prefer these because they get into a more aggressive aero position, and sometimes purely from a comfort point of view. Now they say you can't reinvent the wheel, but Rotor have reinvented hubs at least. This is their brand new revolver rear hub, which they launched here at Eurobike. Different in a couple of ways, mainly this inner clutch, which kind of floats, so it's not like your traditional ratchet and pull system, although there are some similarities. But if you look down here, one way frees up, the other way it engages and comes back. Now they say that this lowers the resistance, especially of course when you are freewheeling, but also allows them to make their hubs a lot lighter than they would be with the traditional system. And they're also very easy to service. All you need is 2 Allen keys. This is pre-loosened, I'm not that strong, as you very well know. Once you undo it, very, very easy to service, just as you would do with a front hub. Topeak have taken their twin turbo technology from this big track pump and managed to get it into this small mini pump called the Mountain TT. It specifies it's for fat bikes, mountain bikes and gravel bikes, but I do understand that actually it works a treat on road bikes as well. If you come over here, this is called the Morph. It's like a mini track pump. It's kind of what I used back when I was racing full time. Makes it very easy to get your tyre back up to pressure after a puncture. It now has the addition of a digital readout for your pressure, etc. But of course Topeak have been doing tools and pumps for many years. What they haven't done before is a bike box. So welcome along to the Park Go X. It's an upright design, as you can see, with 4 multi-directional wheels on the bottom. But if you come through this way, I'll show you the internals. Okay, this is what it looks like inside. Get lots of accessories with it, including all of this foam padding and the straps, etc. to keep it all together, the wheel bags. But the neat thing about this box is the frame, because that is removable. So over here, that's what it looks like when it is outside the box, making it far easier to pack your bike, because you just put it on here, put it all on, and put it back in the box, which is contrary to most bike bags and boxes out there at the moment. Now, along with all these accessories is a chain keeper. How cool is that? Keeps your chain nice and taut whilst it's travelling, so it's not slapping against the chainstays. Nice little touch, that. Physik have been beavering away over in Italy in the background, and have got a load of new products which they have just released here at Eurobike. So we'll start here with the saddles. This is the new Open range and the new Versys Evo range. The channel is on the Versys Evo here, whilst the cutaway in the middle is on the Open one. This range of saddles is for those of you who prefer the slightly more solid feel of their original style saddles, but with the pressure relief where you most need it. Whilst over here, in particular on the wings, they've worked a lot on their flexibility and comfort. So if you prefer something which is slightly more giving, this is probably the one for you. As ever, they come in their 3 different styles, so the Arione, the Allianti and the Antares, which you will choose with their app based on your flexibility. So the spine concept, again, you will have seen on the GCN show before. More information on them is available in other videos with Cy, but let's move over to the shoes quickly down here. They've been doing some work on their mid-range, some brand new colourways and fairly funky ones there as well, but we want to concentrate here on the high-end ones because they've updated from the R1B to the R1 Infinito. I'm not sure if it's Infinito or Infinito, I'm sure someone will correct me out there. And that's because of this new boa closure system here. Figure of 8, so it goes on forever. That means that instead of just closing together, it also closes down as you turn the boas, so a much closer fitting shoe that you get there. Very neat looking as well, I think you might agree. And they've also got the world's first ever high performance knitwear shoe. This is the R1 Knit Infinito, fairly unique looking, and this is basically for those of you who live in warmer climes, probably not over in the UK where I'm from, and want a very lightweight shoe that is very well ventilated as well. At the other end of the spectrum, I would have loved these when I was really training hard over the winter months. These are the R5 Arcticas. How snug do they look? I mean, sometimes you just can't keep your feet warm, but these have got a fleece-lined inner, and I just really want to try them out in the winter. The Wilier 110 Air is not a new bike to the market, although this colour scheme is fairly new. We saw Pipo Pozzato using this one at the Giro d'Italia back in May, and such was the reaction from the general public that Wilier are now making these available to the general public. Certainly judging by the number of likes we had on our Instagram post on this bike back at the Giro, it is a very popular colour scheme indeed, and quite a complicated colour scheme to get right apparently, so this will set you back an extra €1,000 versus the standard frame set. Certainly though, one that stands out from the crowd, I think you'll agree. Cat Eye have been long-time proponents of being safe by being seen, both at night but also in daylight hours as well, and they are increasing their wearable range. So this neat little light is called the Wearable X, and it works with a simple clip, so you can easily put it onto your back pocket or onto your backpack or onto your saddlebag or wherever you want, basically taking the hassle out of being seen. Kask dipped their feet into the eyewear market for the first time around about 1 year ago with these, which are the Coup sunglasses. Version 2 is out now. These are called the Coup Open Cubes. I should put them on. A slight difference in design, more open at the bottom, gone is the complete frame. They've also added some air vents here at the top to prevent them steaming up when you're riding in some dark, dreary conditions. I rather like them. They are completely made in Italy, so the frames are made by a German company called Zeiss, but they do have a factory down in Italy. Always good to know. Moving on over, they've got their new time trial stroke track helmet here called the Mistral. The keener-eyed of you might have spotted a few of the Australian riders using these at the Rio Olympics back in 2016. It was developed along with the Australian Cycling Federation and some of the universities over there as well. Again, we've spoken about this on the GCN show not too long ago, but that will be available to buy for the general public from around about October time. And then we have this, which is the Kask Vallegro, new lightweight climbing helmet, which you will have spotted Team Sky using at the Tour de France this year, which of course Chris Froome won. More vents than they have ever had in a helmet at 37. There's nothing to it. It weighs 180 grams, and of course it's all about being light and keeping cool. DT Swiss have divided up their wheels into 5 distinct categories, 3 of which they released back in May. So they were the Aero ones, and then around here, the performance side, and then the endurance side, many of which you can see up on the wall just next to me now. Completing that lineup of 5, we have 2 more released here at Eurobike. They are the track ones and the cross ones, and that's what we're going to start with because they're just behind you here. 2 options when it comes to cross wheels. You've got the CR 1600 here with very stiff aerodynamic spokes. These have a 22mm inner width, so to accommodate, of course, the wider tyres that you're going to be using on cross bikes, but they are also aimed at gravel riders as well, and you also have the C1800s. Then we've got the track wheels, which are over here. The slightly lower end ones are the T1800s, which are aluminium, and then you've got the deep section carbon wheels. Like the cross ones, are not just used for cross. These can be used on the track, of course, but they can also be used for the single speed criteriums, a bit like the Red Hook Crit, and in fact they sponsor a couple of fairly high level German teams, and that is what they will be using. The TRC 1400s available in both clincher and tubular with a 65mm rim depth. Been kicked out. Not because I've done anything wrong, you understand, but because day one of the show is actually now finished, disappointingly. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself today. Hope you enjoyed this video too. If you did, please give it a thumbs up just down below. Now, there will be a lot more videos coming from Eurobike over the coming days, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, if you've yet to subscribe to the channel, please do so by clicking on the globe. If you would like more information on those Physik products that we saw earlier, Sai is doing that for you just down here. Or if you've missed the latest GCN show, it's just here. I need a beer. I've got one here.